heresy where some people think there are two persons with two natures. No, I'm still saying it's still the same person with two natures, the hypostatic union.
No. What the specific heresy I'm going against is monophytism, which is the idea that Christ possessed one nature.
Yeah, but I didn't say it's one nature. I said it's two natures.
The Chalcedonian statement said diaphytism, which was saying that Christ possessed two natures, and he was one person. Monophytism said he was one person possessed one nature.
One nature, yeah.
Now, why I said that that would be the heresy was saying that within that nature.
Sorry, which one? The first one or the second one?
No, the monophytism.
Yeah, but I'm not saying it's mono. I'm saying it's di.
1 second. So I'm saying where that. I think we're not making this distinction is you're saying there is a change in the nature.
It is. It's an addition to an existing nature.
One second. That will only take place if it was a monophysite view, if he possessed one nature, because then I would have to say that within that one nature that he possessed, he now changed because he had divine attributes in that nature and he had human attributes in that nature. So there was a change to that nature. Because prior to that incarnation, there was only divine attributes. Post-incarnation, within that nature, there's divine and human. Yeah. But where the Chalcedonian statement...
Why do you not see that as a change?
No, because where the Chalcedonian statement says is there's one person who had these two natures.
Yeah.
There was no change in this nature here, the divine nature.
I'm not saying that.
1 second.
Yeah.
There was no change in this divine nature here. All that happened was this one person had another nature.
An additional nature.
Yes. But there was no change in the divine nature.
I didn't say there was.
Yes.
Any addition
yes.
to an existing nature.
But I'm not saying
that. Change.
The Chalcedonian statement doesn't say that.
Okay, so you're telling me that. Look, I'm not saying his divine nature changed. Yeah. I'm still maintaining that.
Yes.
So his divine nature is that, but then
he acquires.
I'm not saying he acquired that nature within the divine nature.
Yes.
I'm saying the divine nature is separate from the human nature. I'm not saying they're the same.
Yes.
Okay, so. But it's still the same person.
Yes.
So let me ask you this question. The one person, the second person of the Trinity, has he changed at all?
Yes.
Okay, so there is a change.
Yes.
Has the
person, but not in the nature, yes.
Exactly, yeah.
Yes.
So has the first person changed, God the Father? Has he changed at all?
No.
Okay. Has the third person changed at all? So the only one who changed is the second person of Trinity.
Yes.
So within the Godhead, there was a change.
Yes, I don't have a problem with that. I don't see the issue.
So if there was a change in nature within the Godhead, from pre-incarnation to post-incarnation, how is that not a change in nature?
But I think that's where we're sort of having the problem there. There wasn't a change within the nature in the Godhead. That's what you just said.
You just said yes?
No. So there was
I asked you specifically, was there a change in nature within the Godhead?
No. You said, did the Father change? Did the Spirit change? Did the Son change? I said no to both of the two, Father and Holy Spirit, but there was a change in the Son.
Yes.
So I never said there was a change within the natures that they shared. I said there was only a change within this person. So the second person of the Trinity changed.
Which means there was a change in the Godhead nature.
No, not Godhead nature. There was a change. No, because I think you're adding that nature, which is the problem. So
that's because the nature was added.
No, 1 second.
The human nature was added.
1 second. So there was a change in the Godhead. I don't have a problem with that. But there wasn't a change in the nature of the Godhead.
Whoa. What do you mean change in the Godhead?
So, because then you have to say...
There's still three persons.
No, 1 second. Because you have to say what constitutes the Godhead.
Yeah.
What constitutes the Godhead is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Yes.
Now, the Father possesses the divine nature, the Son possesses, and the Holy Spirit both possess the same divine nature.
Okay.
There is no change in that nature that makes that Godhead.
You forgot the one nature of Jesus.
1 second.
Yeah.
The divine nature which makes that Godhead.
Yeah.
It makes the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit God.
Pre-incarnation, I agree.
I'm saying there was no problem with it. Now,
post-incarnation,
what happens post-incarnation is the second person of the Trinity now acquires an additional nature, a human nature.
Yes.
But that does not negate from him possessing the divine nature.
I didn't say that.
And 1 second, that doesn't touch on the divine nature.
I didn't say that.
So I'm saying there was no change within the nature of the Godhead.
Let's not talk about things which we agree about already. So we already agree that pre-incarnation, there was three persons having three natures. Post-incarnation, there is three persons with four natures in totality. Do you see where I'm coming from?
Okay, we've got to be careful.
To me, there is an additional nature unless and until you tell me that the Word did not become flesh.
Yeah. Okay.
It's very simple. It's very simple. I'm still maintaining the number of persons as three at both post-incarnation and pre-incarnation. I'm not denying that. I'm still maintaining the divinity of each person of the Trinity as having those divine nature within them. But the additional nature, which somehow you're not accounting for, the human nature, is something which is the fourth nature which came into being. If you, the reason I'm saying fourth nature is because I'm saying nature 1, nature 2, nature 3, which are all three divine natures for each person of the Trinity. Plus, the second person of Trinity has another additional
Okay. So I think where we're talking
nature
about
called the human
is
nature.
the way we're counting natures here.
Okay, go on.
I think that's where, because we're counting three natures when we're referring to the divine.
It's just for ease of understanding.
No, but
that's all.
I'm saying where we.
You want to call it one nature? I have no issues.
No, 1 second. Just ease of understanding.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Where we're having a problem here is because we're counting natures in the same way. But when we say that because you're saying there are four natures now.
No, just ease of understanding.
No, ease of understanding.
Yes.
But you're saying there's four.
You can either say two natures or four natures.
No, yeah, but
but it has doubled.
Yeah,
Whatever it was.
Let's just say, for ease of understanding,
it has,
I'm going
in
with
Jesus, it has doubled.
Ease of understanding. Obviously, there is one nature within the divine Godhead, but just for ease of understanding, we're saying three natures.
Yes,
here, okay?
exactly, yes.
So, where we're making a mistake here, or making the error, is we're counting the natures here all in the same way. We're saying that there are four natures here, but when we're saying there are four natures, we're referring to different things. What you have to actually count is there are three natures here, because we're referring to the divine natures. There are three divine natures, ease of understanding.
Yeah.
But we can't now say there are four natures because the human nature is a different type of nature. So you can't now go and count and say there are four natures here.
So where would you put it in that equation?
No. So when we're
either you're telling me that there was no acquired extra nature, or you're telling me that there was an acquired nature.
Because I think
you can't have it both ways. You can either have the nature of Jesus. Look, Jesus pre-incarnation did not have a dual nature. He had a single nature.
Yes.
After post-incarnation, the nature is no more single, it's double. So you have twice the number of the amount of nature. You have an additional nature, which is the human nature. Let me ask you this question because it looks like we're going in circles.
Okay.
Does this human nature stay with him for eternity post-incarnation? Yes. Okay, because that is very clear. I think many Christians are unaware of this.
No, it
yes,
does.
that post-incarnation, this human nature is now part and parcel of the Godhead.
Yes.
You cannot remove it from the Godhead.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Before incarnation, there was three persons. Each person was divine. Post-incarnation, you have again three persons, each of them divine. However, there is another extra nature called the human nature, which exists within the Godhead for eternity. Yes, and that is acquired by the second person of the Trinity. If that is not a change in nature, I don't know what is.
Yeah. So I think again, it's just breaking down the terms. When we're saying change in nature, what I'm saying is that there is no change in nature because I'm taking that sentence to refer to the divine nature. There is no change in nature there. It's not like the Son acquires an additional divine nature.
No, I didn't say.
No, 1 second.
No, I never said.
Then,
like I said, let's not talk about something we agree upon. So we already agree that the divine nature did not change pre and post. However, the human nature is the one that we are disputing right now.
I'm not saying that you are saying that. But I'm saying where the argument will have, sort of legs to stand on would be if Christ assumed another divine nature, then we could say that, pre-incarnation there were three divine natures, post-incarnation there are four divine natures. Now there is a change to the divine nature within the Godhead.
Yeah.
But there isn't. All we're saying pre and post-incarnation.
Sorry, thank you.
All we're saying pre and post-incarnation is this. Pre-incarnation, there are three divine natures. Post-incarnation, there are three divine natures. All there is that is acquired is another type of nature.
So it's 3 plus 1, right?
No, so I can't count now and say...
Why not?
And say there are four natures here.
No,
because
it is, you have to count it. The reason for that is because it is part of the Godhead now.
No, because I'm saying there are natures and we're referring to them in different ways because they're different types of nature. So I can say there are three divine natures here, but there's one human nature that's assumed by the Son. That assumption of that one human nature doesn't mean that there is a change in the divine nature.
Because I think we're talking the same thing again.
But 1 second.
Okay.
1 second. But
yeah,
can I just say a point that I think is quite important?
Yeah.
Is this is more of an issue for someone who takes a temporal view of God. Someone who has a timeless view of God, which is sort of the classical theistic view of God, would say that God always, because he's timeless, because all of time is present to him.
Yeah.
at all times, God possessed this human nature.
You mean even
No, I'm saying,
pre-incarnation?
yeah, so I'm saying, so a timeless view of God